Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really shifting gears from theory and recognition to the nuts and bolts of fundamental personal change.
Exactly.
Our mission is centered on the practical, actionable steps designed to, well, to literally rewire your sense of self.
Yeah.
We're moving beyond just admitting who we were and into the active process of, dismantling it.
And that's the critical distinction, right? We are diving into steps 5 and 6, which are the foundation for the week 3 meditation sessions. It's all about radical self-ownership. The goal is to become so conscious of the old self, that predictable version of you, that you effectively destroy the memory of that former personality. This is about making real, physical, neurological changes to free your consciousness from the past.
Okay, so let's unpack that concept, dismantling the self. It's a really powerful idea, but we need a working definition.
Sure.
When the source material talks about the self that needs dismantling, what are we talking about precisely? Because it's easy to get abstract with this.
It's a great question. We're dealing with the neurological you.
The neurological you.
Right. Think of it as the accumulated data package of your life up to this very moment.
Yeah.
It's the combination of your internal thought patterns, what you're always rehearsing in your head, and your external action.
What you actually do.
What you physically demonstrate. Yeah.
Right.
Moment to moment. These two components, they're constantly reinforcing each other, and that defines who you are on a neurological, habit-driven level.
And step 5 is the tool we use to bring that entire package, that whole identity, under what? Rigorous observation. Sounds like we're moving toward metacognition.
Precisely. Metacognition, or simply observing your own thought process and behavior, that is the entire objective of step 5. You just can't change what you don't understand, and you can't fully understand what's running on autopilot. So to observe and remember is to become, intimately familiar with the self, to cultivate knowledge about what has previously been hidden.
So the ultimate aim of step 5 is full awareness of the specific unconscious thoughts and habitual actions that make up that old personality. But earlier, in the first few steps, we mostly focused on identifying one core driving emotion, like anger or shame. Now we're drilling down into the microscopic details.
We are. The initial steps gave you the, let's say, the emotional umbrella. Now we need the list of everything that happens underneath it.
Okay.
The goal of this observing part is to get so familiar with the patterns that you can literally catch yourself in the act while you're living your life. You want to reach a point where the slightest inkling of the old pattern, that subtle internal impulse, is brought to awareness so it never even gets a chance to fully manifest.
That sounds like it requires tremendous vigilance. I mean, the old self is comfortable. It's a dependency issue, isn't it?
It is. The source material uses a helpful comparison here. It's like overcoming an external dependency, say sugar or tobacco.
Sure.
When you quit, your body screams at you. You hear those loud chemical pangs of addiction. But here, the substance is internal. It's your own feelings and thoughts, which are chemically part of you.
That's a crucial difference, because if the substance is me, doesn't that make the change feel, almost impossible? How do we even begin to separate me from the substance that I'm observing?
That separation happens the moment you realize the source of the unwanted behavior starts with a thought, but, and this is key, that thought is not necessarily true.
Right, it's not you.
It's not you. It's not reflective of who you want to be now. Most of what passes for inner dialogue, that constant chatter, it's just noise. It isn't conscious thought.
Wait, okay, so if it's not conscious thought, then what is it?
They are echoes from your past.
Echoes.
They're just old circuits in the brain, hardwired by repetition. And those echoes are connected to strong feelings, the chemicals of the past, which just activate those old circuits and cause predictable reactions. You have to learn to step back and ask, is this thought true, or is it just what I think when I feel that old familiar way? That question creates the separation.
I think we need to slow down and really anchor this for everyone listening, because identifying these echoes is the work of step 5. The source material gives specific examples of these limiting thoughts.
Yes. For example, any thought that's rooted in blame, like, he always makes me feel angry, or it's her fault my life is this way. Blame is just an old circuit designed to keep you from taking responsibility.
Or the self-sabotaging ones, right? The ones designed to keep you stuck. I'll never get a new job. Or, oh, this one is insidious. I honestly can't change. Maybe it'd be better to start another time.
Yes. That one is the voice of the old self fighting back with a promise of future effort that never comes.
Classic.
Exactly. And the source encourages writing these down, memorizing them, because they are the unconscious programs running on a loop.
Okay, let's talk about the other half of this neurological self. The physical rehearsal. The habitual actions. This seems just as critical, but maybe gets less focus than the internal monologue.
This is where the addiction to emotion becomes visible. Unconscious actions are often taken not for some external benefit, but purely to reinforce the old personality, to fulfill an addiction to feel more of the same way.
So if you're addicted to guilt,
If you're addicted to guilt, you will subconsciously perform actions that guarantee you receive the emotional destiny of feeling guilty. Maybe you procrastinate until you fail, or constantly apologize for things you didn't even do.
wow. So the behavior is actually just a mechanism for the body to get its chemical fix.
It is. Or you see the flip side. Actions taken for instant gratification to temporarily numb inner pain or emptiness. The addiction to computer games, excess food, shopping, you name it.
Using an external fix for an internal problem.
Right. And since nothing outside of you can fix that emptiness permanently, you just keep going back to the addiction, often needing more of it. But the crucial insight here is that once you unmemorize the negative emotion, the guilt, the emptiness, you eliminate the need for the destructive behavior. You remove the cause.
So that list we're making needs to include not just the thoughts, but these specific repeated actions.
Absolutely.
Like the way you sit alone sulking after a fight, or the urge to call someone specifically to complain, or picking a fight with someone you love just to feel wronged.
Yes, even gossiping or mindless social media scrolling, if it's tied to an avoidance mechanism, that complete, detailed list of thoughts and actions is what lets us move to the second component of step 5, reminding.
And what's the goal there?
You review this list daily. It reminds you of how you no longer want to be and how you were consistently making yourself unhappy.
And this is where the neurological payoff happens, right? Because when you review and memorize that list, you are essentially entering the operating system of the subconscious mind.
Yes, you're shining a spotlight on the programs you've identified. You are making the invisible visible. And that is everything.
What does that spotlight actually do to the brain's architecture?
By becoming familiar with these cognitions, you inhibit them from firing. You're disrupting the pathway. Imagine walking across a lawn repeatedly. You eventually create a path.
Yeah, sure.
Step 5 is like putting up a fence and constantly pointing at the path, reminding yourself not to walk there. And eventually, those synapses, the actual synaptic connections that made up the old self, they begin to prune away.
That's where the language becomes so dramatic and profound. If every neurological connection is a memory, then step 5 is quite literally dismantling the memory of the old you.
It's powerful because memory isn't just a file in a cabinet. It's a living physical network. You are strategically causing those circuits to unhook. You anticipate the pattern before it starts, and that's the moment of freedom. You unmemorize the past.
So step 5 gives us the map of the old self and the motivation to leave it behind. But we need a vehicle, an escape plan. Is that where step 6 comes in?
That's exactly right. Step 6, redirecting, is the active intervention. Step 5 was awareness. Step 6 is conscious control. This is the step that allows for real biological change. When you stop yourself from behaving unconsciously, you cause the unfiring and unwiring of nerve cells. You stop signaling the same genes in the same old ways.
So we need an intervention tool. What is this mechanism for redirection? Is it complicated?
It's wonderfully simple. The word change.
Just
The word. Just the word. During meditation, after you review your list, you mentally rehearse scenarios where you might fall into an old pattern, a moment of self-blame, an urge to eat away depression, and you say, change, out loud.
And then during the day, when you catch yourself in real life, starting to think that limiting thought or do that thing.
Use the same verbal command. And saying it out loud is crucial because it makes your own voice the new loudest voice in your head. It gets programmed right into your nervous system as the voice of conscious direction. And this repeated interruption of the old program weakens those neural networks.
This sounds very much like the use it or lose it idea. What's the neurological principle here?
It's the essence of Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together, wire together, but the corollary is that neurons that fail to fire together lose their connection. By consistently interrupting the old program, the thought, the chemical rush, the action, you are causing that failure to fire. You're unhooking the old circuits during your daily life. You're starving the old network of energy.
So why is that immediate sharp interruption, the change, so vital? I imagine it has everything to do with the environment constantly pulling us backward.
Precisely. We have to contend with what are called associative memories that exist deep in the subconscious. I mean, we are all essentially Pavlov's dogs, walking around our known environments.
For the classic conditioning experiment, right?
Yeah.
The bell makes the dog salivate. The dog didn't think about it. It was just an automatic response.
And our lives are governed by millions of similar associative memories triggered by everything around us. Seeing a familiar person, hearing a certain song, walking into your old office.
Oh, we've all had that moment, that specific smell or sound that instantly changes your body chemistry. You hear a song and suddenly you feel 16 again.
Exactly. Or you walk into your parents' kitchen and your body just resets to a 10-year-old version of you.
Double.
Those cues trigger a past memory connected to an emotion, and instantly your body chemistry changes. It returns you to the same predictable personality. The body takes over and runs subconsciously, and you're temporarily out of the driver's seat.
So the body is demanding that old emotion, and your redirection is the tool to break that association.
It mirrors the end of the dog experiment. When Pavlov kept ringing the bell without giving food, the automatic response dwindled. The association was broken. The bell just became a sound.
So by mentally rehearsing stopping the old self in meditation and practicing redirection in life, we are repeatedly exposing ourselves to the trigger, the person, the thought, the email, without the emotional reward.
We are weakening the neuroemotional response. That thought about your boss that makes you angry or the stress of a deadline can no longer tug on you physiologically because you've mindfully interrupted the chain reaction enough times.
So what are the immediate, tangible benefits of gaining this kind of conscious control over our knee-jerk reactions?
The primary instant benefit is energy conservation.
Energy.
Yes. When you live in a state of survival driven by fear, anger, guilt, your body is constantly mobilizing for fight or flight. It's pumping out cortisol and adrenaline, it's knocking itself out of homeostasis, and that mobilization burns an enormous amount of energy.
Because survival emotions demand a high physiological cost.
They do. Those limiting emotions represent a low, chaotic frequency of energy being consumed by the body. But when you catch and redirect the pattern before the emotion is triggered, you conserve that vital energy.
So the energy previously tied up in managing perpetual stress and drama, which was fueling the old self, is suddenly available for something else.
Precisely. That conserved energy can be strategically used for creating a new life, for moving from survival mode to creation mode. This also encourages you to rationalize beyond just the feeling. The sources recommend a powerful follow-up phrase after saying change.
What's the recommended self-check?
It's asking, is this feeling, behavior, or attitude loving to myself? And then affirming, this is not loving to me.
I really like that. That frames the interruption not as this harsh battle against yourself, but as an act of compassion, an act of self-care.
It shifts the motivation entirely. You are choosing not to emotionally signal the same genes and affect your body adversely. You're literally making a loving choice for your future.
So to summarize the goal for the listener as they go into week 3, the aim is to integrate step 5, the observe and remind, and step 6, redirect, into everything they've done so far.
Ultimately, these two steps should merge into one automatic action. As limiting thoughts come up, you observe yourself and immediately say, change, out loud, or at least hear it as the loudest voice in your head. When that reflex is established and the old program is consistently interrupted, you are truly ready for the creation process to begin.
We have completed the movement from just recognizing the old self and surrendering control to now actively observing, mapping, and inhibiting its physical and neurological manifestation. It's a remarkable toolkit.
It really is. And for you, the learner, to consider as you try to implement these steps, if the core insight is that our old thoughts are just echoes from the past, hardwired into our circuits, how often are you confusing a conditioned chemical response, that old tug of familiarity, with a truly conscious, intentional decision in your daily life? That's something to keep in mind as you try to stay one conscious moment ahead of the old you.